the Prime Minister is now addressing. In fact, there's a roadshow that's taking place in Vadodara. Let's cut across. Visuals there is in fact a 2.8-kilometer roadshow that is currently taking place in Gujarat's Vadodara. Rousing reception there for the Spanish Prime Minister who landed in Vadodara last night. There's of course a lot that is supposed to take place very shortly, including of course the inauguration of the Tata aircraft complex. In fact, these are the live visuals that are coming in at this point of time. Of course, the Spanish Prime Minister there taking a tour, a 2.8-kilometer roadshow in Gujarat currently underway. Lots and lots of people on the ground. Lots and lots of excitement is what we see at this point of time. You can, of course, now hear, I'm going to request my crew to just give us a little bit of an understanding on the environment over there, the celebration and the excitement in Vadodara at this point of time as this 2.8-kilometer roadshow takes place. Now, there's, of course, a lot that is going to take place today, but again, live visuals there on your screens. A long itinerary for the day. Lots and lots of excitement there on the grounds. This is, of course, viewers, the first time in 18 years that a Spanish Prime Minister has arrived in India for a visit. Now, just to give you an understanding on the relations between the two countries, Spain is in fact India's sixth largest trade partner in the EU. The bilateral trade goods in 2023 in fact stood at $8.25 billion, and we're of course talking about 2023 over there. India's top exports to Spain includes mineral fuels, mineral oils, chemical products, iron and steel. These are of course just to give you an understanding on the relations between the two countries. This is of course a historic moment that's just taking place right in front of your eyes in Vadodara, Gujarat, where of course the two Prime Ministers, of course Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Pedro is of course there. Lots and lots of people on the ground. My colleague Mahima joins us live at this point of time. Mahima, what are the details that we have over here? Of course, an exciting roadshow of 2.8 kilometers is underway.
Asami, like you correctly pointed out, showing our viewers that how this historic moment is being witnessed in Vadodara, where both the Prime Minister are doing a roadshow for around 2.8 kilometers, and nonetheless, the President of the government of Spain, Pedro, arrived Gujarat early mornings at somewhere around 1ish, and in his maiden visit to India, he was expected to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and now we all are witnessing a roadshow with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, this is like you were also stating that this is the first visit by Spain government president to India in nearly 2 decades. That is 18 years after we are witnessing such a historic moment. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi at around 10 will, along with the Spanish president, will jointly inaugurate the Tata aircraft complex for manufacturing C-295 aircraft at Tata Advanced System Limited campus. Thereafter, at around 11 a.m., he will visit Lakshmi Vilas Palace in Vadodara, where there could be a bilateral talk that might take place. Now, we'll have to wait and watch that what exactly will be in those bilateral talks, because as of now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with the president of the Spain government, is doing a roadshow that is somewhere around 2.8 kilometers, and after that they will jointly inaugurate the Tata aircraft complex for manufacturing C-295 aircraft. Now, why this particular C-290 aircraft are important? A total of 56, Asabri. Since morning, we people are telling our viewers that why this particular aircraft is important, because a total of 56 aircrafts are under this program, of which 16 are being delivered directly by the Airbus from Spain, and remaining 40 are to be made in India. Now, why this Make in India? Because earlier we showed to our viewers as well that External Affairs Minister Jaishankar also stated that this is going to be a historic movement for Make in India. Now, it is very important to understand that why exactly it is important for Make in India, because 40 aircrafts will be made in India. That is, the Tata Advanced System Limited is responsible for making these 40 aircrafts in India. This facility will be the first private sector final assembly line for military aircraft in India. It will involve the full development, a complete ecosystem for manufacture to assemble, test, qualification, deliver and maintenance of a complete life cycle of the aircraft. So which is very, very important, that it is not only going to be made in India, but entire ecosystem will be there in India, whether it is assembling, testing, qualification, delivery, or the maintenance of the complete life cycle of the aircraft. Apart from Tata's Asavri, leading defense public sector units such as Bharat Electronics Limited, Bharat Dynamics Limited, and also as well as private small, medium enterprises will contribute to this program, and also to give certain Prime Minister Narendra Modi had laid the foundation stone in Vadodara for this final assembly line. So today it is going to be definitely a historic moment to be witnessed by the people of the country, also by the people of Vadodara, where we have two of the Prime Minister doing a roadshow for 2.8 kilometers, and after that, a historic moment for Made in India. Asabri.
Absolutely, Mahima. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all those details with our viewers. In fact, joining us at this point of time is Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist. So thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX. Live visuals, of course, flashing on our screens at this point of time from Vadodara, where thousands of people are out on the streets where this 2.8 kilometer roadshow is taking place. It's, of course, history being made. How do you then view the significance of this visit that's now taking place after 18 years?
Significant. And optics are also to be seen. A message is given to the world that we are doing work in civil aviation and military craft with the Europe also, at the same time with the Boeing in the US also. Apart from that, the bilateral is going to be very, very important. This is just not being discussed. This is an optics, this is showing the world that we have arrived here in the airspace. The final assembly line will be set up in Bharat so as to make it clear to the world that we are going to be independent in the due course of time. Now you cannot be blocking our things the way you have been doing in the past. But apart from that, that there's a fierce competition among the European countries for providing India with the 6, diesel electric submarines, which are required for the Indian Navy. Navantia of Spain is also vying for that. And a couple of days back, German Chancellor was also here for that. See, that bilateral is going to be quite important, and that's why I said, this optics. How is it that German Chancellor was not in the public eye? He was not taken to the public eye by the Indian government. And why is it that the Prime Minister of Spain is given that, opportunity? The world needs to know, sir. Geopolitics of the region and Bharat is changing fast. The dynamics are multifaceted. In such a scenario, that that 43,000 or something, 43,000 crore contract for 6 submarines is also going to be, somewhere in the backdrop. We are not going to openly do that right now. But what is going to happen is, a message is very clearly given to everyone. See, Airbus is here, Boeing also will be here. Everyone will want their share of the pie of this Indian development and Indian economic movement, Indian democracy. So, it's a message to the world, all are welcome, but the condition is make in India at our own terms, at Bharat's terms. You will come to Bharat with Bharatiya terms and conditions. Which suits Bharat, we will do that. Which doesn't suit us, we will not go for it. And that's why, this German Chancellor might be ruining what he said, we want to decrease the dependence of Indian military on Russian equipment. Now, whether we decrease or we increase, that doesn't matter as far as, Bharat is concerned. That's none of their concern. Their concern right now is their economy is going to go in recession. And that's why they want Indian market. And that's why they want to buy for this submarine. Well, we are not those fools, that we will understand and, whatever you say, we will listen. It's not going to happen that way. And mind you, there's a very significant, quote of Dr. Jaishankar, I would say, before I end. And that is, he said some time back, in Europe itself. Europe's problems are world's problems. But world's problems are not Europe's problems. Now get out of that mentality, European countries. Because you are all going to need Bharat to survive in the coming years. That's all I have to say.
Right, absolutely, sir. Now, as far as, of course, the defense industry partnership between the two countries is concerned, with that there in the picture, how does this then evolve the ties between India and Spain?
I have a very different feeling. Because see, it's something like this. That's why I said, optics are happening. Had India not decided, or India had not, thought of, instead of Germany, it's going to be Spain that is going to, we are going to be dealing with this submarine. There would not have been a roadshow. There would not have been that optics of 3-kilometer long roadshow in Vadodara. And it's showing the world, it's showing certain powers in the world that if you don't do it, we have our own option. And we will go for that. And that is where it's more, that is where, things are very, 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 very geopolitically sensitive right now. And after the success of BRICS, so many people are getting great messages. And this is one of those messages. That is the way I look at this roadshow. And this is the way I look at, the bilateral which is going to be taking place in Lakshmi Vilas at about 11:30, 12 o'clock. Yes, Asha.
Right, so absolutely. And, of course, as we speak, the roadshow is underway at this point of time. You see, of course, those visuals. There's, of course, cultural events that are also now taking place on the ground. You can, of course, see people dancing over there. Lots and lots of people waving at both the world leaders who are now on a 2.8-kilometer roadshow in Vadodara. There's, of course, a lot that is going to take place through the course of the day, including the next item on the agenda, which is the inauguration of the Tata Aircraft Complex. That's, of course, much awaited, there's the much awaited agenda on the items that's going to take place very, very shortly after this 2.8-kilometer roadshow then ends. On that note, we in fact have Ms. Raj Lakshmi Joshi, political analyst, also with us on the broadcast. Ma'am, thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX. Now, there have been back-to-back meetings with two European Union heads of governments. First, we of course had the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz with us less than 24 hours ago, and now of course we have the Spanish Prime Minister here with us in India after a total of 18 years. What is the kind of a message that is then being sent out to the world? Is the message of Vishwa Bandhu then being echoed across the world?
A very good morning, Ashavri. You said the word right. This concept of Vishwa Bandhu is something that PM Modi is putting across very strategically and very nicely, I would say. See, and in the past few weeks and in the past few months also, you have seen that how Bharat and PM Modi has been a part of various different kind of forums and various different kinds of bilaterals where there have been so many contrasts, like different countries which have not been able to see eye to eye, but PM Modi has been speaking with them very successfully, and even with people with countries with whom actually who had actually started the relations with us, they also have come to us. Like for example, I'm talking about Russia, Ukraine, which are which are at loggerheads, and again I'm talking about the Maldives president, who had at one point, maybe they thought that they could get away by snubbing India, but then if you saw that they had to get their way back to speaking with Bharat. So that is how our diplomacy has been right now. Diplomacy, I think, is the right word. That PM Modi is a perfect example for how he has been actually using a lot of diplomacy, which is something that is lacking in all these world leaders right now. So right now, the most of the world leaders are either on one side or the other. But PM Modi has been very successfully putting Bharat's interest across all different avenues, across all different whether it may be a Quad, whether it may be a G7, or whether it may be BRICS. So even at BRICS also we have been taking the initiative. So Bharat's position today is in a very different plane than what it was a decade ago. So, and that is all thanks to the vision of PM Modi and our entire government. So that, I think, the diplomacy right now is at its peak. So we can see that very crucial and very strategic initiatives are being taken, and so many different decisions are being taken. So these are all things that will go a long way, in the years to come. So we cannot hope to become, say, the world's third largest economy, without having good relations with all these countries. Because, most of these countries, they have to be actually supportive and cooperative with us. So all these countries, they are actually looking to us as a global leader today. We are not looking at maybe pleasing them or trying to get rid of the sanctions. So our position today right now is that we are a force in our own, and that is the reason why most of the global countries also, most of the superpowers also, they actually have to think twice before they actually even think about putting any sanctions, even if we take the most toughest and the most difficult of decisions. That is the kind of a position. So, even in the European countries, our stature has definitely increased. I would say tenfold maybe, because over the last 10 years, and I think it is an amazing difference in the way in which our attitude has been, where we take our decisions based on the interests of our own people, and we are not really bowing down to what the superpowers may say. We ourselves are looking at ourselves as a Vishwa Guru, and now we are looking at a Vishwa Bandhu, who not only is somebody who takes our own decisions, but we help other countries and we take other countries along with us.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely. Ma'am, requesting you to stay on with us. In fact, joining us at this point of time is Professor Madhav Nalapa, the editorial director of the Sunday Guardian. So thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us on NewsX. As we speak, of course, we can see the situation on the ground. Lots of excitement is what we garner. But let's also just talk about, the fact that this will be the first private sector final assembly line for the C-295 military aircraft in India. Now, with that being said, do you believe India is in the process of becoming the next defense hub?
Well, I'd like to say that we made a mistake for many, many decades in not allowing exports of defense equipment and in restricting defense only to the public sector. And now, fortunately, over the last 10 or 12 years, that error is being rectified, and the private sector is now actively participating in defense, and exports of defense equipment is going up very significantly, including to very important countries such as the US and France. So the way to go is to pay for our defense through exports as much as we can. And that is something that we have started doing. So yes, I think this is a very, very significant step forward.
Right, absolutely. And of course, let's also then talk about, I want to understand from you in your assessment how India now looking to become a defense hub. How could that potentially, in fact, contribute to India's economy?
Well, first of all, being a defense hub, you have a lot of downstream projects that will be set up as a consequence of defense. There's no question about it. So you have a very large overall employment as a consequence of defense. Secondly, R&D, including domestic R&D, will be greatly strengthened as a consequence of defense production and, of course, defense exports. And thirdly, when we are exporting, we are comparing ourselves to global standards and we are competing in the global arena. So from that point of view, the quality of our production, the quality of our technology is constantly being upgraded. And the fact that the world is now looking at India, friendly countries are looking at India. We obviously cannot support defense equipment sales to countries that could tomorrow may go to war against us. But friendly countries are now increasingly looking at India both as a location for producing their own defense equipment and as a location for buying original defense equipment.
Right, right, right.